Hey everyone, I want to show you guys this grouping that I just got with the 7.5 inch 7.62 by 3.9. Okay, so this is the AR-47. I've done a couple of videos on this. So using Wolf Performance, okay, at 100 yards, 5 shots inside of 2 inches. Inside of 2 inches, so like an inch and even smaller than 3/4, an inch and like 5/8. Now normally I take the best 4 out of 5. So the best 4 out of 5, uh, I'm inside of an inch and a half. Okay, let me get you back in. So best 4 out of 5, I'm inch and a half. So pretty damn good, man. I am like ever since I got into these AR-47s, right? Basically ARs that shoots 7.62 by 3.9. I'm like at a whole different level as far as my appreciation for this, this Russian ammo. There's one round left here. This steel case Russian ammunition. With the AK-47, I mean, it was like a struggle just to get to like 3 to 4 MOA. I had hit, like, I think the best I ever got with the AK-47 was 3 3/4 inches at 200 yards, which is like just inside of 2 MOA. But same ammo, once I got into the, started using this 7.62 by 3.9 ammo in AR-47s, it's pretty easy to get inside of 2 inches. I haven't quite been to an inch. Like, it's a struggle to get to an inch, but inch and a half, I've hit it a bunch of times. So yeah, I mean, if you want to upgrade your ammo, right? If you got like stockpiles of the 7.62 by 3.9, if you want to upgrade the performance of your ammo, consider getting an AR-47 upper. Okay, you just need the upper. Get a complete upper that comes with the bolt carrier and everything, and you're also going to need a magazine. These are like $20. Durmag and ASC. These are the ASCs. The 20 rounders are very reliable. 30 rounders can sometimes have issues, but yeah, if you got Russian ammo, Russian 7.62 by 3.9 ammo, and you want to upgrade that performance, just get yourself an AR-47. I mean, you can get them at Bear Creek. They're like in the $200 range. You can at Davidson Defense. Visit Davidson Defense here. I mean, they're more in the $250 to $300 range right now. If you catch them on sale, if you get the discounts, you can get them like below $250. Now, regardless where you get them from, they're gonna have the the Bear Creek Arsenal bolt carrier group, right? So the bolt carrier group, no matter where it comes from, whether it's Davidson Defense or Bear Creek, it's gonna have a Bear Creek BCG. And their firing pins are shit. Okay, I've broken a whole bunch of their firing pins. So just get yourself. Oh, there goes the ammo. It's a very windy day today. So what you're going to want to do is get another firing pin, or get like 2 or 3 firing pins. Just have backups from either Guerrilla Machinery, Black Rifle Arms, a couple of these other companies. Right to Bear Arms. The one I have in here is from Black Rifle Arms. It's been working pretty good. Okay, so that's a phenomenal group, man, for 100 yards with 7.62 by 3.9. Like I said, all 5 shots are inside of 2 inches, and the 4 out of 5 is at an inch and a half. Hey everyone, I want to cut in on, I want to explain why I'm so impressed with this group, primarily because it's a 7.5 inch barrel, right, with the 7.62 by 3.9, and typically when I shoot a short barrel like that, right, out of 5.56, I'm getting like 4 inches at 100 yards. Okay, so I mean at like 11 inches, yeah, I'll get like 1 inch groups, no problem. But for whatever reason, with the 5.56, when you go to a 7.5 inch barrel, and I've tried this with a bunch of different uppers, the groups open up to like 4 inches plus. Now I did shoot this in a 300 blackout 7.5 inch barrel. That also got about an inch and a half. Oh, by the way, if you look over here, if you see this box, right? Basically, this has a 2 MOA dot. So if you just use a dot, it's going to basically cover up your bullseye. So I make about a 3 inch box because your 2 MOA dot, I mean, even though it's supposed to only take up 2 inches at 100 yards. Realistically, most of them take up 3 inches. So you make a 3-inch box here, and then you center your dot inside of your box, and then you should be about 2 inches above that. That's a good place to be because that's going to give you a second zero at 200 yards. Okay, so that's a good place to impact. You know, from the center about 3 inches high. Okay, so 3 inches high from your center, which is exactly where that is going to allow you to get hits at 200 yards. Hey everyone, I want to share some thoughts as far as what I think of the 7.5-inch AR-47. So I also have a 16-inch, so I have a good point of comparison. There's definitely more felt recoil in the shorter, lighter AR-47. Much of it will do with the gas system. So this has a pistol length gas system compared to the carbine length that's in my 16-inch. As far as the energy, I did a video on that. I ran it through a chronograph. I think it was like 975 foot-pounds of energy, so it's just under 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. I think that was with Red Wolf. It might go a little bit higher if I was using Tula or something else. Do I recommend the 7.5-inch 7.62? I mean, it's a great novelty. I mean, like I like shooting it. For most people, I would say definitely get the 16-inch first. Okay. And if you want to go shorter, I would say go with the 10-inch. If you go to Bear Creek's website, they list 2 10-inch AR-47s. Okay, so and it took, like at first you look at it, it's like, okay, what's the difference between this one and that one? One seems like it's like $30 more than the other. It's the length system. Okay, so one is a 10-inch pistol length system, right? And the other one's a 10-inch carbine length system. Definitely get the carbine length system. You know, carbine length gas system, which is going to be like $20 or $30 more. It's going to be a lot more smoother shooting. Okay. Everyone, I decided to shoot this at 200 yards. As you can see from that wind ribbon right there, it is freaking windy. So as I'm moving through the forest here, I'm looking up, making sure that none of these dead tree branches end up on my head. So I shot this I actually shot this twice. The first time, let's get this guy out. Put this where it's easier to see. Hold on. So when I was shooting this at 200 yards, right? First of all, I didn't use this box here because now, at 200 yards, this box is tiny, right? Because it's further away, my dot is now like a quarter, like a quarter the size of the paper. So the first time I shot it, I was holding just underneath the line over here. And I was actually favoring left a little bit because I saw that the wind was blowing left to right. So my impacts were down here. I got 1, 2, I think the other ones were a little bit low over here. So again, it was my first time shooting this at 200 yards with the 7.5-inch barrel on the 7.62 by 3.9. So I was using the same hold that I would, let's say, use for a 16-inch. So with the shorter barrel, yeah, the bullets are going slower, and I got a drop here. So what I did is I shot it again. This time, I held my dot right on top of the paper over here. I didn't hold left because I didn't think there was a lot of wind, but apparently there was. So my bullets did drift a little bit to the right. So 5 shots, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. So I know I pulled one. I think that's the one that I jerked. That's that one. So that means 200 yards. All 5 shots, including my jerk, are about 6.25 inches. Normally, I look at the best 4 out of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one off the paper here. So that's 5 inches at 200 yards. So that's like 2.5 MOA. So the interesting thing here is the hold, right, with the 7.5 inch, because again, this normally with the 16-inch, what I'll do is I'll be like 3 inches high at 100 yards, and at 200 yards, like if I, basically I would have been in the box here, right? But with the 7.5 inch, because my bullets are going slower, right? If I'm holding, I think I was holding in the center of the paper here or up here somewhere, my impacts are low. So this time on top of the paper, I'm impacting just underneath that, at the bottom of the red dot. So that's a good way for me to remember. Okay, so with the 7.5 inch, if I'm impacting 3 inches high at 100 yards, at 200 yards, I'm gonna be impacting at the bottom, all right, just underneath where my red dot is. Okay, so that's I do these videos so I can have something to refer back to. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely effective out to 200 yards. Now, of course, this is a small target, so if this was a torso, like let's say this was a chest, even if I was holding high, I'd be dropping him into the belly, so that's fine, all right? So given that it's windy today, like if I was shooting this with 9mm, like an AR-9, I'd have a hard time getting on paper, and the groups wouldn't be this tight. So the 7.62 by 3.9, if you gotta be if you want to be on a 7.5 inch barrel, yeah, that's a really good choice. As far as the loudness, because 5.56 is extremely loud, I usually have to put a linear comp on it if I'm shooting something that short. I was just using a bird cage, if you guys saw it earlier in the video. So with the bird cage, I can use just standard earmuffs. You can't use earplugs, you gotta use earmuffs, and it's doable. Okay, so the noise is not terrible as long as you have earmuffs. And just walking through the woods here, right, with the 7.5 inch compared to, let's say, my 11 inch, which you guys have seen me do a lot of videos, walking through the woods with the 7.5 inch, way more convenient. The gun is way more easier to handle. Okay, so there's definitely a place for the 7.5 inch. If you're going to be doing a lot of walking through woods like this and you're trying to stay as light as possible, yeah, I mean, that might be the right tool. Especially if you don't expect to do a whole lot of shooting and at distance, and you're just trying to stay light. It's probably a better choice than 5.56, which is a lot louder. Okay, so it's basically, we got the benefit of like the 300 blackout. At a much cheaper price, right? Because I got 300 blackout. 300 blackout in the 7.5 inch works really good too. The issue with the 300 blackout is just it's a little bit more expensive, and like I don't have like thousands of rounds stockpiled of 300 blackout like I have 7.62 by 3.9 from the days when it was really cheap. Okay, so 7.62 by 3.9 is definitely a very good solution for certain circumstances. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and my experience shooting this thing with you guys, and also make a record for myself so I have something to refer back to as far as what my holds are.